Hello there, my name is Anders Carlson and I'm going to be doing a tutorial for you on how to replace a blank TV screen in a real estate photo shoot where the TV was off during the shot. So this is the TV here. I'm going to go ahead and show you the whole room. This is an office in a house that I did a recent shoot at, and as you can see the TV was off. And I want to add an image onto this TV and make it look as if it were on when I took the photo. So the first thing we want to do to get started is make a selection around where the image would be on the TV screen. So the easiest way to do that is to zoom in, and you can zoom as far as you want. The more you zoom, the easier it is to get detailed. And now we want to make a selection here. I'm going to not zoom too far just to keep it quick and simple here. And we want to use the polygon lasso tool to make our selection. So I'm going to start in the upper left corner. You can start wherever you want. And I'm just going to try to quickly make a selection around the screen here. You can see there was a desk lamp that we kind of have to select around. And there you go, there's my selection. Now, one of the things I like to do to my selections is I like to give them a little bit of a feather because these really sharp edge selections can make your image look very fake. And so I'll show you exactly what I mean. I'm going to go to Select, Modify, Feather. And I'm going to give it a feather of 1. This kind of depends on how big your image is. I think feather of 1 is going to work for most high-res real estate photos, and you can give it whatever feather you want, but I'm going to do a 1. Click OK, and you can barely see anything happen there, but all that's going to do is kind of soften the edges of the image that we pop in there and not make it so sharp. The next thing we want to do is I want to save this selection because I may need to use it for multiple purposes. So I'm going to go up to Select, Save Selection, and I'm going to give it a name of screen. You can name it whatever you want. And there we go, we've got a saved selection. So next thing we need is we need the image that we're going to pop in here. I have one available that I had opened previously, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of it, select all, I'm going to copy it, edit, copy. You can use keyboard shortcuts for this if you want. And I'm going to go back to my previous image, and I'm going to zoom all the way back out because we're going to paste this in here and it's going to be a little bit too big. So I'm going to go Edit, Paste, and there you go. This is an image of a golf course that is actually at the development where this photo shoot was. And so I'm going to pop this onto our TV screen. Obviously it's way too big right now, so we need to scale it. So I'm going to go to Edit, Free Transform, and now you can see after clicking Free Transform I have these handles available to resize my image. I'm going to hold the Shift key, and that will help preserve the aspect ratio. If you don't hold the Shift key, your image will you can accidentally change the aspect ratio of your image. Now to make this a little bit easier, because I want this to fit right onto the TV, what I'm going to do is drop the opacity of this image down a little bit. The opacity is over here on the right hand side above your layers. I'm just going to drop it down to about 70% so I can see the TV behind. Now we want to keep resizing this so that the right-hand side of our image here is going to fit perfectly on the right-hand side of our TV. So dropping it down a little bit more. Still need to go smaller. You want to make sure that your image is outside of the screen area because we are going to mask this to fit onto the screen. So make it a little bit bigger than what where your selection area was. Okay, so there we go. Now you can see that this does not match the angle that our TV was at. So we need to distort it a little bit because this photo is straight on, our TV is at an angle. So we need to make our photo look like it's at an angle with the TV. best way to do that, and I'm going to keep my opacity down so I can still see the TV behind it here. The best way to distort this is to go to Edit, Transform, Distort. Now we've got these handles again, but they do different things. They allow you to change the angle. So all I want to do is grab these handles on the left side and bring them in to match the angle and meet up with the corners of the TV. So there's my top one. And there's my bottom one. And when you got it where you feel you're happy with it, just hit return. And there you go, it's on your TV screen. Now I'm going to bring the opacity back up. And as you can see, it's a little bit bigger than the TV screen area. So this is where we're going to go back in and grab our selection that we had earlier and say Selection, Load Selection. And we're going to come down and there it is under Channel, Screen. Click Screen, or whatever you named it. I click OK. And there it is, there's our selection. Now the quickest way to do this is to add this, to get rid of these outer edges, is to come down here on the bottom below our layers. We have this button down here that's called Add Layer Mask. So go ahead and click it. And there you go, it's gotten rid of the outside edges. It's added a mask so you can see what's going on here. Now, if you wanted to, you could stop here. This is a pretty good TV replacement. But I like to go a little bit further. If you have more time, I would recommend going a little bit further. It's up to you. And I like to make this look a little bit more realistic. And so I want some of the, if you look at our original TV screen, there are some reflections of the windows in here. You want to try to keep some of that to make it look realistic and have it look as real as possible. So I'm going to turn our layer back on here, and the way I'm going to bring those reflections through is I'm just going to go to our blending mode here above your layers. It says normal right now, and I'm going to drag it down to screen. And as you can see, that just subtly brought through some of the reflections on from my TV there. Now again, you can stop here if you want, but there are a couple more steps, or one more step that I would like to do to make it even a little bit more real. You can see this top edge of the TV and the left edge are still a little bit abrupt. So what I want to do to this is I'm going to add a layer style. I'm going to go layer style, and I'm going to go inner shadow. And what that's going to do is sort of soften those edges and add a shadow up there. It's a little bit too much of a shadow here, but we can fix that with our shadow options. First thing I want to do is take the opacity down a little way so it's a real soft shadow. I like to go down to about, I don't know, between 30 and 35%. That looks good to me. Let's go down to 30. And I've already got the angle set, but say if the angle were down here, you can see this angle controller. You want the angle to be up against the angle of the TV that is furthest away from you. In my case, it was the top left corner of this TV here. So we're going to make the angle go up to, so that this line is on the top left side of my angle selection. And you can mess with the size of it if you want, and the distance. I'm going to leave it because I like it where it's at. Now I'm going to show you, there's a preview button here where you can see what it looked like before. So there it is before with the preview unselected. Select the preview, you can see what it looks now, and I like it. And I click OK, and we're done. And for me, I'm very happy with that. That is a good TV replacement. It looks very real. There are some reflections, there's a shadow, and I'm happy with that. That's a finished product for this particular TV. But a lot of times we're going to come across a TV that's reflecting quite a bit more than this TV was and has some nasty glare. And so I just want to show you how to deal with that. When we just put it on the screen mode, when you have a nasty glare, it's going to allow way too much reflection through. And so what I've gone and done is I've created a layer here that added quite a bit of reflection to this TV screen. And I'm going to show you how to deal with this. So if I just plop an image on there and hit screen mode, you can see there's way too much of this glare and reflection showing through. So the way to deal with this, the way I like to do it, is I'm just going to take our layer that has our image on it that we placed on the TV, and I'm going to duplicate it. And you're going to do that by right-clicking the layer or control-clicking it. I'm going to hit duplicate layer. And you can name it if you want. I'm not going to name it for now just to keep this quick, and click OK. And then what I want to do is turn this blending mode back, all the way back to normal. And now you can see we've got an image replacement on there that was the original image replacement. Now to bring in some really subtle reflections and a little bit of the glare to make this look a touch more realistic, I'm just going to take the opacity down a little ways. And you can see there now we have a little bit of those reflections coming through from our original work. And I think somewhere between 75 and 80% is good. You can see here we have just a little bit of reflection coming through. And now I think we have a pretty good image, even on a screen that had some nasty glare. So that's my tutorial for today, and that was replacing a TV screen that was turned off in a real estate photo shoot. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, please post them in the comments below, and I'll be back with more Photoshop real estate tutorials soon.